airport. I'm giving up. I'm binning off the Americas. I think essentially because I've spent, you know, the best part of $1,000, maybe, yeah, a bit less than $1,000 coming down to South America. You know, my ego could easily want to try and make this work, and you know, it was a nice place beginning with something like Valladolid that the guy on the coach recommended to me, that I could get a 13-hour coach trip to, and you know, try and make Chile work so I haven't wasted money on the flights. But ultimately, I don't like it. I'm not happy here with everything I've got going on. It doesn't feel safe here. So yeah, it's time to give up on Latin America. For now, certainly. I'm not saying I'll never be back. The whole second passport thing is still pretty alluring, and I'm pretty sure this is the only part of the world you can do it in without being a millionaire. So yeah, I'm moving on. And actually, I've already been here for 5 or 6 hours, and it's another 13 hours until my flight. I know, mental. But basically, my flight is at 7 in the morning. So obviously at first I was like, well, I'll book my hotel for another night, get a taxi at 4 in the morning, like any normal person would do, be in the airport for 2 hours like a normal person would. And I went down to the desk of my hotel, and I really liked my hotel, and I really liked the lady who ran it. I mean, she seemed to just run it all the time, like slept in the back. Just mental. Like she was in her pajamas this morning, so I assume she owns it and just lives there and runs it, and that's her life. Yeah, so I went down to her to say, can you book me a taxi for 4 in the morning? And she just went, no. Like, what do you mean, no? So maybe it's not possible to book taxis in Chile, but I find that hard to believe. I find it hard to believe she wouldn't know a taxi driver, seeing as, you know, many of them are taxi drivers. You know, it's a highly demanded thing out here. So that was weird. So then I tried to book an Uber for 4 in the morning, and that didn't work. And then I asked her what's the latest time I'll just be able to go outside and catch a taxi, and she said about 12 o'clock at night. So I was like, right, okay, I'll do that. We have another doggo. This is the second doggo I've seen in this airport. I love it. I think it's great. I think people should be able to travel with their dogs. But it's very unusual for me. If anyone knows about the whole travelling with dog situation in South America, it clearly seems to be a thing. I'd like to know in the comments. Anyway, back to my little taxi story. So then I went back to the room and realised that, well, actually it was when I tried to book the Uber, or I was booking an Uber, I realised that I'm just going to spend all morning worrying about whether the Uber's going to turn up. I'm not going to be able to sleep. I'm going to be stressing to fuck. If the Uber doesn't turn up, then I'm fucked. And this flight's a pretty expensive one. We're going quite far. So yeah, I just got distracted by someone staring at me. Just a bit of camera. So yeah, I realised that, you know, the Uber, even if I had been able to book it, would just be too stressful. So I thought, right, what's the latest time I can get a taxi? She said about 12, so I was like, right, okay, I'll do that. Went back to my room. And then again, I realised that I'm just waiting for a fucking taxi and stressing about it, and, you know, just that uncertainty and just knowing you're going to travel this next day, and it's a long travelling for, not even including the 19 hours I'm in this airport, I'm travelling for 24 hours. So I basically thought, you know what, I'm just going to ask for a refund on the room. I'd only been in there for an extra hour over check-in, and go now. So that's what I did. So what are you after, brother? What would you like to tell YouTube? Almost in Spain. Thank you so much for... Cool, man. Well, you're going to be all over YouTube now, so whoever you're thanking, excellent. Perfecto. It's actually taken down at the minute. It's not up.
Why?
I'm not going to tell you why. I have 3 channels. The one that this will be on is called English Refugee. It should be up again in about 1 week.
Okay.
So yeah, I've kind of lost where I was at in the story, but essentially I thought to myself, I'm just going to go now. So yeah, 19 hours in this airport. This is the guy that was looking at me, by the way, so that's obviously why he was looking at me. He wanted to show his sign off. I want to know what it is. You don't speak English, no? Almost in Spain. Thank you so much from John. Anchor and Roses. Cool, man. He looks like a character. I like him. I like his smile. He's got good energy. So yeah, basically I'm here. I've been here for 5 hours. Another 14 hours to go before I can start traveling for 24 hours over 3 flights. So yeah, not a great day. Not a great week. But you know, that's life, and it's all character building. And I believe challenges are sent to us to make us stronger. And they certainly do. You know, my life has disintegrated so many times now, shattered. My soul has been destroyed many, many times. And every time it rises again. Sometimes it takes a year, 6 months. Now it seems to bounce back very fast. But yeah, each time I'm born again as a man with less ego, basically. There's less layers of neediness, of validation, of attention seeking, you know, just all the normal human stuff. Delusion, essentially. Delusion that makes us feel safe rather than acknowledging the true truth of the world. And basically every time I just align further to truth, you know, that's essentially what happens. Oh, someone's sat on my seat. Oh, and it's Mbongo. I've said before, maybe it's, you know, the only way my mind can rationalize the way my life has turned out, but yeah, I mean, it's clear to me. It's clear to me that we all come here for our soul's development, to put it simply. And yeah, some souls are here for a very deep journey, for a wise soul that's been here many times before. And I think it's time to acknowledge that that's what I am, what I consist of. You know, I've kind of been pussyfooting around because I don't want to trigger people, but it's time to just acknowledge who I am and what my life experience is, and I'm here to speak for those who are also having a similar life experience and it will resonate with, and to not worry if I trigger, you know, baby souls, basically. And that's not even, you know, and obviously people who'll be like, oh, well, he thinks I'm a baby soul, will get triggered by that because they're still so in the ego, but they take offense to stuff and care what people think. But, you know, that's not my intention. I'm just here to share my journey and to share it really honestly, and that is the truth of my journey. So yeah, there might be a few clips of Chile airport, interesting characters, anyone I see with a nose ring or blue hair, of which I've already seen a couple. But yeah, really just waiting to get on a plane in 14 hours time. I want to hear that guy's story, so the contraption is out. Oh, the only other thing to say from this morning is the taxi I did get. The guy was so like traditional man, which I'm assuming is kind of what it's like here in Chile. You know, he was pointing out gorgeous women, and you know, it's very much like I want to have sex with that woman. Not in a creepy way, like we've been brainwashed in England to think that. But it was just like old school. Yo, bro, let's do a little interview. Tell us. Yeah.
Canal 11.
1 minute. Yeah. Tell us your story, brother. Un momento.
Cuéntanos tu historia, hermano.
Bueno, mi nombre es Franco y estoy acá, vengo desde el sur de Chile, desde una ciudad que se llama Chillán, y estoy juntando para poder llegar a España a poder trabajar, estudiar, y me están esperando.
Again.
Bueno, mi nombre es Franco, vengo de Chillán, es una comuna que está a 5 horas de Santiago, y mi meta es llegar a España a poder trabajar.
Again, my name is Franco. I come from Chile. It is a commune that is 5 hours from Santiago, and my goal is to get to Spain to work. So what's the sign about? Are you trying to raise money to get to Spain? Do you want to tell the people on YouTube how they can donate to you?
¿Quieres decirle a la gente?
Bueno, tengo una cuenta root que es 21 413 935 9.
Well, I have roof accounts, which is I don't know what a roof account is, but that's the number of it if you do. And what are you going to do in Spain? Why do you want to get to Spain?
Bueno, porque mi papá me puso Franco por cuando me quiso ir a tener a España cuando niño y siempre ha sido un sueño poder llegar a ese lugar.
Well, because my dad made me frank about when he wanted to go to Spain as a child, and it has always been a dream for that to be able to be my place. Well, I wish you good luck, brother. I hope you get to Spain too soon. Where are you flying to today?
Bueno, te deseo buena suerte, hermano. Espero que...
Bueno, te deseo buena suerte, hermano.
Hoy estaré en el aeropuerto. Llevo 4 días en este lugar y espero luego llegar a mi destino, si Dios quiere.
Today I will be at the airport. I have been at this place for 4 days and I hope to reach my destination, God willing. Oh my God. Oh, 1984 mobile. Bloody hell. Good luck, brother. Like, what a mission you're on. I really respect your life energy and attitude.
Buena suerte con ella, como la misión en la que estás realmente respeto tu vida.
Buena suerte con ella.
Muchas gracias.
All right, brother. And it says so much about a man that, you know, that this is what I want to do and I'm going to make it happen. Like, oh man, it's making me teary. I'm wondering if I should give him my Chilean pesos rather than exchanging them, but well, there's always just that butt into that part of the ego that still wants to clutch and feels needy and has this story of not being secure and wants to accumulate. Not that I am accumulating, I mean, I'm just surviving right now financially. And, you know, I haven't YouTubed for 2 weeks and I've not got any income, so, you know, there's all those fears there, but really this is the next stage of my development. Like, I need to start giving. Oh, I'm gonna have to, aren't I? Let's at least give him 20 bucks, man. All you guys have been so generous with me. Honestly, I'm so grateful for your generosity. I guess I should pass it up. I'm gonna give him 20 bucks. Fucking hell, man. And it's really hard for me. Like, I really, you know, like I say, all those fears I've just described are really strong, but, you know, I know how this universe works. I know it reflects what you put out there. So, you know, I know it will all come back to me anyway. But it's like, it's learning to trust that. Let's go and give him 20 bucks. Hey, amigo.
Oh, bro.
Alright, bye, man.
Gracias.
No problem. Good luck. God, getting teary again. It's just crazy, man. It's amazing how good it feels to give, actually. Like, you know, yeah, all this resistance. And then when you actually do it, it's just like warmth. And ultimately, you're just giving to yourself because it's all oneness anyway. It's all consciousness playing out. You know? But let's not get too much into it on this channel. People will get triggered. You mean I'm not real? You mean all my offences and all my delusions aren't real? All my pride and ego and arrogance isn't real? Yeah, it's not real. It's all fucking make-believe. I ended up having quite a good chat with a guy that nicked my seat because I went to move my trolley, so it was clear that I had been sat there. So he was a bit like, hey, well, I suppose expecting me to be aggy. So he was just like, what's up? Obviously must be American. So I don't, because that's just their way of saying how's it going, isn't it? So I answered it literally like, oh, nothing, mate. I'm all good, is what I said. And I went, not much, mate. I'm all good, which is probably how, I don't know how you meant to answer what's up. I don't get it. But that's how I answered it. I just went, nothing, all good. How are you? And he was like, yeah, I'm all good. You know, like on an individual level, I don't have a racist, judgmental bone in my body. Like, I just see everyone as they are, where they're at, and I have compassion for it. I'm willing to help. Not many people are willing to receive help, unfortunately. But you know, I have so much love for people. on a wider scale, you know, essentially it's all been triggered by what's happening in my country and Europe and the Western world. But, you know, what I feel is my country, and you know, in general, I don't think low IQ sub-Saharans, you call them, I don't even know what you call them, but, you know, the ones with really low IQs, you know, I don't think that they're any benefit to the country, especially when we're subsidising them and they're committing crimes. Like, you know, that's where it stems from. And then it's easy for that to steamroll, and then obviously when you're making YouTube videos and you want to get clicks, you know, if you exaggerate it or play into the whole using the stereotype, it works. So that's what I've done. But, you know, honestly, man, I mean, I travelled Africa when I was 18. I travelled from Kenya to Cape Town. You know, I've lived all over the world. Like, I'm not racist. Like, I love people. But I do think everyone should have a homeland. And I think England should be for the English. And I think what's happening there is absolutely disgusting. And just a massive betrayal of the people. So that's essentially what I believe and think. It says a lot that the first continent that I decided to travel as a solo traveller when I was 18, the first travel I ever did on my own was Africa. You know, I was just fascinated. You know, I wanted to see the most different place that I possibly could, and I loved it, and I loved the people. And admittedly, I was young and naive and didn't know what was going to come from a globalist in 20 years. But you know, I came back just raving about it, and raving about the people, and you know, what I really took from it, and I still believe to this day, is that less is more. You know, the less you have, or more, the less you desire. I suppose the two are linked, really. The happier you are. You know, but I suppose the lessons. Yeah, what I mean by that is the less in terms of material, and the less need for material, and the less need for, you know, egoic things, essentially attention from others, and what you tend to have more of when you have less of those things is community, family, socializing. You know, and that's what I really took from Africa. But you know, okay, they might not have shoes, but they're smiling. You know, maybe I just saw the tourist beaten track, but that's what I took from it anyway. Just realised that it's pretty pointless donating to that guy because this won't be posted for at least 3 months, and I doubt it was Ruth anyway. No idea what that is. I don't think that's a money thing. So yeah, don't just go sending money to that random number, because if he still needs it in 3 months' time, then I think even someone with his attitude will have stopped living in the airport by then. I'm still feeling like the warm glow from giving to that guy, and just thinking about him, like, just makes my heart sing. Not in a gay way, just, you know, really respecting someone and giving someone. And that reminds me of it. I mean, I'll have done a shout out by now to these amazing people, but there's one person who emailed me and then donated me money while I've not been YouTubing. I can remember the surname is Harding. I can't remember the first name. They're just unbelievable. And then there's 2 people who've just put money in my account, who clearly can tell that something's not right. They have no idea what's going on, yet they're just fucking good people that want to help me, man. It's just unbelievable. I'm pretty sure, if I remember now, their names were Fiona and Mark. So yeah, I can't thank you guys enough. Like, I just think to do that, like when I'm not even creating videos and you don't even know if I've just fucked it up or whatever, you know, you've no idea what's going on. But I get that you sense that something's not right, and yeah, it's not. So yeah, it's massively appreciated at this time, because obviously financially I'm worried, you know, I'm really worried, and to be honest, I don't ever want to YouTube again. It's caused way too many problems. You know, speaking truth in this world right now is true, and that's not me saying that I speak the ultimate truth or I know the truth, but I am aligned with truth, completely aligned with truth. I will choose truth over family, friends, people's opinions of me, even my freedom, even my life. You know, because what's the point in being alive if you're not aligned with truth? It's like the highest vibration, the highest virtue, and everyone's so desperate to virtue signal that they do it with bloody Palestine flags or by chopping the cock off. But you know, I do it by aligning with truth, which is the hardest thing you can do in this life, because the whole of the world is a lie, and everyone lives in that lie, and everyone's addicted to that lie, and everyone's deluded by that lie, and there's a sense of safety in the delusion. And to give up that delusion, therefore that safety, is the hardest thing for anyone to do. So yeah, truth, man. It's all I care about. The story I've got from this morning, smoking a cigarette reminds me. I was smoking my last cigarette outside the hotel before I got in a taxi, and this Chilean guy came and he was like, so he was speaking Espanol, but he was basically like, what's that? I don't think he'd ever seen a roll up before, maybe. So like, that's what I can assume anyway. And he was like, let me try it. So I passed it to him and he was like, whoa, yeah, bien. Like, he really liked it. I mean, they're so much nicer than cigarettes. Like, there's more taste and more like power to them. I was smoking cigarettes recently because I couldn't get any rolling tobacco. It was like smoking air. So yes, I think roll-ups are the way, and I think the Chilean man agreed with me. Generosity just keeps happening. This gentleman has come up with me a message. Hello, my name is Julian. I'm Colombian. I have a flight tomorrow at 5:11, but I haven't been able to eat anything. Could you give me some voluntary help or something to eat? It feels like the university's, testing me. How giving do you want to be? So let's give him some pennies.
De Colombia hago música urbana.
Oh, this is your channel?
Ese es mi canal, Big Buster es mi nombre oficial como artista y vine a Chile a hacer más música.
Big Baxter, 475 subscribers. I think it's a music channel. So if you like this kind of thing, Big Baxter. There you go, brother.
Gracias, mi bro. Dios te bendiga, hermano. Mira.
You better not be copyrighted. Bien.
Puedo hacer un video contigo y me dices Big Buster es mi celular.
Hey, one minute.
Hip Hop Music representando el arte de las calles desde Colombia. Una ayuda grandísima que me hiciste. Dios te bendiga y te multiplique, bro.
Underground hip hop.
Underground hip hop.
A great help that you gave me. God bless you, and multiple gold for you.
God bless you and multiply gold for you.
Quite a serious level of paranoia in it to wrap your bags up like that. And I get it, and I can see why some people would think it's sensible. Maybe they've had a bad experience and lost something before on a plane, but to me it's just a sign of living in total fear and distrust. Then maybe that's where everything goes wrong in my life. And then we've got Mr. Papers here. Well in the delusion. Must do my paperwork for the office. Must play my part in the psychotic system. So much more inclined to give to people that are trying to give to themselves, trying to create something, like particularly the lad that's been here for 4 days. Like, they're the sort of people I want to support, rather than just, and like I say, I used to do homeless work. This is the thing that lefties don't understand, is it is an awakening journey. Like, I used to be a libtard, I used to be vegan, I used to like Jeremy Corbyn. I don't think I ever believed in climate change. I might have done, I think I did for a couple of years actually. But yeah, like, rather than just giving to people who are disempowered and always want to be a victim and always will be a victim, and just like allowing that cycle to keep going, that cycle of destruction and that never-ending just self-hatred, essentially. Like, I used to give to homeless people and victims, like, as in people who choose to be victims, because it is all a choice. And that's, I understand circumstances, but ultimately, energetically, it's a choice. And yeah, I'm not into that anymore. I'm into giving to people who are creating something and creating their dream. So cool if I got to a point financially where, like, I could just, and I only gave Big Baxter $4. I should have probably given him a bit more. Yeah, I think to give him anything is by my usual standards, is very generous. I've definitely lived like this. It was one of the first things that ayahuasca showed me, actually, when I first drank ayahuasca. I've drank it about 50 times now, but when I first drank it, it showed me that, essentially because I didn't get attention from my dad as a child, so I was like, daddy, daddy, daddy. It turned into this energy and this, like, not trusting, because I didn't receive, so I have a tight grip on materialistic things, or I have done for most of my life. It's like learning to trust. That was the point I was going to make. I'd love to get to a point where I could just, that guy that's here 4 days, just be like, how much do you need for a flight bill? Just like go and buy him a flight. Like, it's so good, man. And I know that, I will only ever be that level of wealthy if I am giving. works. You know, that's how it works. It's a currency. It's got to flow. A good place to start with this, honestly, genuinely. I'm not just saying it to get you to like this video. If you're like a tight ass, understandably, because you know, have been conditioned to believe in scarcity, and we live in fear. We all live in fucking fear until we do a shitload of self-work, and I still have loads of elements of fear, as I've just described. A really good place to start is with stuff that doesn't actually cost you anything, like liking a YouTube video. Like the level of, what's the word? I think hatred is a bit strong, but the level of just the opposite of giving, this energy, you know, like, you know, essentially just being a twat, which again is understandable. We're all socialised to be narcissistic twats. Where you can't even like a YouTube video, like, especially when you watch it to the end, like, insane. But you know, I used to have resistance to liking videos. It was like, oh, I don't want to give him that. It's like, you know, and when you're on the other side of YouTube, as I was for so long, you know, you just assume it's dead easy, and obviously there's a jealousy there and an envy there, even though it's really not great, trust me. It's like, oh, he's got an easy life, he just makes videos, and I'm not going to give him a like as well. But yeah, you know, you really need to look at that for yourself. Learning to give, learning to have an open energy, an open heart, like, and it's so hard to do in this world. It's because, you know, when you open your heart, you know, it gets fucking stabbed. But leaning into it more and more is what I found has made me a much happier, open, giving, flowing person. And it does come back. It's selfish anyway. You know, it's, you know, I'm everything's a paradox. So, you know, I'm looking at that side of it right now, but you know, ultimately it's still selfish, because once you understand how the universe works, you realise that by giving, you'll get given to as well. So, you know, I'm not here saying I'm some amazing fucking giving person. You know, I just understand how this universe works a little bit. Ooh, very, very, very important papers. About 2 years ago, I realised recycling doesn't really exist. It's, you know, they just send it all to... I mean, I've even seen evidence that these recycling trucks don't actually have different compartments. And if they do, they send it all to China anyway, and it all, not China anymore, but wherever, and it all just ends up in a fucking one big heap. But yeah, she literally just came and emptied all 3 bins, you know, the paper one, the can one, and the rubbish one, into the same bin. It's such a scam. And again, it's all just to perpetuate. I mean, actually recycling, well, no, I think economically it's not worthwhile, that's why they don't do it. But you know, there's a big problem with pollution on this planet, but I think that's all just, you know, it's all just the early stages of a brainwashing towards climate change. And obviously that's being used to perpetuate scarcity and bring in control systems like your carbon footprint, which will link to your digital ID, and being able to control what food you eat, and you know, it's all just a big fucking control scam. Is what some wild conspiracy theorists would say. Obviously not me. Climate change is a very serious issue. YouTube. Oh dear, this young girl, bless her, she just got crushed by her brother with a trolley. They're limping. Just gonna go and punch him now. She's not happy. I suppose it's no great shot really, because everything's more chilled out and free in Latin America, but I'm pretty certain you wouldn't be allowed to play football in a European airport. But yeah, these guys are doing keepy-uppies. Very South American, particularly Brazilian. It's just how I feel from what I've seen of beach football and Ronaldinho growing up. But yeah, there's no way you'd be allowed to do that in England. So security's here to see if I assumed she was going to say something, but no. Seems like it's cool. It's funny because some girls have just joined, and wow. The fact that they're trying to tell us that it's the same standard or that they deserve equal pay, and you know, I'm all for women playing football, but don't lie to us about it. Don't tell us it's good. Don't tell us we should watch it. Don't put it on Sky Sports News as much as you put men's football on Sky Sports News. And it's just amazing. Like they're terrible. They keep booting it into the checkout section. Like they've got no what's the word? I'm so tired. I can't find my words right now. They don't know how to kick a football, basically. Coming from me, who plays football like a girl, I'm terrible. But yeah, it was. I mean, they've calmed down now, but when they first joined the circle, they were just booting it. Like, it was like they didn't realise like that kicking it hard would make it go out of the circle. But every time it leaves a circle, it's one of the girls, and you know, people are like, "Oh, that's sexist." No, it's just true. You know, women aren't designed to play football. You know, what's really interesting is women's tennis is great. Women's tennis is just as good as, potentially as enjoyable as men's tennis. Like some sports it works for, but football definitely isn't one of them. I guess it's because it's a contact sport. My ego feels the need to let you know that obviously I don't watch any of this stuff anymore. I mean, I keep an eye on football, but I would never sit and watch 90 minutes, maybe Sheffield Wednesday if they didn't have a crazy dictator as chairman that had destroyed the club. But you know, I used to be a massive sports fan, which obviously means distraction fan. And once you get to a point where you can feel and you appreciate meditation, for example, and I'm not saying I particularly do, I'm kind of forced into it through life circumstances. But you know, once you experience that space within yourself and that peace within yourself, you don't really want to distract yourself by watching tennis. I used to watch Wimbledon every year while I was waiting for the football season to start, because that was my life. Because like everyone else, I was in the external and I was a distraction addict. So I'm going to be completely honest with you, I haven't watched that back in the editing process at all. So obviously I filmed that quite a while ago now. So I can't remember if I'm going to repeat myself now, but I don't think I would have mentioned this in the video because I was just too terrified. I didn't know what I was going to be revealing and all that. But yeah, so this is obviously right in the midst of a psyop, when I think people are after me, trying to get me. So essentially what's happened here is I was so terrified and I couldn't settle in my hotel room. Like, I mean, it was ridiculous, like to the point where when I heard people in the corridor, I was like, is that them? You know, I was so fucking scared. So I've decided to go to, I don't know, basically I don't know if in that video I give you a bullshit reason or not. I really can't remember. And I just haven't, I've had such a day today. I've done 3 hours of driving on a scooter, all in the rain. I came off my bike. I got stopped by a police officer on the motorway and told that I wasn't allowed on the motorway on my bike, even though all the locals were driving on their bikes. And then I had to go a long way round. Like, it's been such a mental day, so I just haven't got the energy to watch that back and edit it. But yeah, basically what was happening here is I was so scared that I felt safer in the airport. So I decided to go to the airport. I think it was 18 hours before, and that's probably mentioned in the video, before my flight. And it was just insane. It was absolutely insane. This is how head fucked I was, and yeah, this is the space I was in at the time. And that's the decision I made. So that's really why I left South America as well, and why I didn't give Chile a chance. You know, I was just too scared. I was totally head fucked. All a blessing in disguise in the end, because now I'm in a fantastic part of the world, and it's been such a transformative process going through this terrifying experience. It's really made me meet myself. I've got sober, all that sort of thing. But yeah, it was crazy. So crazy that I decided to, yeah, so I booked the hotel that you saw yesterday for 2 nights, but in the morning I cancelled the second night. I managed to get a 50% refund, and yeah, just went straight to the airport and sat in there all night. So yeah, I don't know if I gave you a different reason in the video, I really don't know, but that is what happened. Crazy, man, crazy. Not Today Satan is back now for people who follow that channel. So yeah, it takes a while to notify people about videos. So just keep checking that channel if you want to see the videos. I will try and upload every day on there. Certainly 4 or 5 times a week. I think that's all I've got to say. Please like and subscribe, all that sort of thing. Drop a comment. So we finish off the airport in Chile tomorrow. Fly to Barcelona, which is hell, and then we finally get to Indonesia. So I think we're 2 videos away from Indonesia now, but obviously, you know, they may be really long, and I may edit them into 3 videos or something like that. I don't know. But yeah, please do support the channel with a comment, like, all that sort of thing. You know, if you like this channel, then it really is important, because I need to earn money to keep this life going and to keep these videos coming. So please do hit the buttons and drop a comment, even if it's just an emoji. Just chuck an emoji in there, it really helps. And then there's that whole hype thing, whatever that is. if you can do it. It seems really random to me. Like sometimes I can do it, sometimes I can't. I don't get it. That's it. Big love. See you later. I'm going to bed. I'm absolutely shattered.